question of the day, many questions of the day. This one is how to do an arm bar, but not have the person pull their arm out, get their elbow to the floor, yank out of the arm bar.
So we assume since the elbow's going to the floor, it's happening from top.
Yeah, and in the comment they said that they're hugging this grip on the arm. So
right there should be good. So we're here, and then the way we usually teach this is like, let's say I just finished scissor sweep, most white belt friendly of all the sweeps in my opinion, right? So we finish here. I'm gonna shove this across. So I'm rolling my knuckles into the sleeve, and this allows me to push it across. I'm gonna seal his elbow with my chest, and I'm gonna bring my knee. So the inside of my knee is touching his ear. Now, this leg is gonna come, and now I want my heel just about his ear also.
oh boy.
So now I have it's called a nice S mount. So I can lean this way, and my weight goes on Matt's diaphragm. As I lean, I can bring my leg over, and I can fall back, curl my heels, fall back, make sure his thumb's pointing up, and I have a nice classic arm bar.
So what do you think's happening to them that they're getting the arm pulled out at that point?
So what I think is happening is like they're coming here, and then instead of putting their heel by the ear, they're actually going up on their heel and going like this. Mm-hmm. This elevates my hips, it allows you to escape your arms. It's either that, or they're here, but they're not bringing their knee high enough. So also there's space on the hips.
Yeah.
I'm falling back with my hip back. So now there's room for your elbow to fall.
And the funny thing about that is, look where my shoulder line is, and look where his pelvis is, his belly button. Even, so I'll say, keep the hip close. So even if he gets close right now, comes close to my ribs, and he sits down, he's still not actually in a great spot relative to my shoulder. So I can still pull out here. He wants to be, there we go. So now when I try to pull out of the arm bar, I'm gonna just elbow him in the belly.
Yeah, so that's what we were talking about before. My knee by his ear, my heel by his ear is a good landmark. It's a good like line to have, because then as soon as I go for it, my hip's gonna be in a pretty good spot. Now, if you have longer levers, you have longer arms, or longer legs, I mean, your heel might be higher up here, just so you get the correct positioning.
You'll feel usually the bend of your knee or maybe your calf under this armpit, triceps.
Yeah.
Just depends, like you said, on the length of your leg. If you've got shorter legs, your heel might be under my armpit. Got longer legs, your heel might be up here. It's just getting this feel for this shape of the S.
Yeah.
This is the S.
Yeah, and then other thing too is like you don't have to do the classic full back arm bar. We don't even teach that anymore here.
That's the first thing, no.
Yeah, so let's say you have this classic grips and you're here. As soon as I feel I have the arm bar, I'm gonna not only lean sideways, but lean forward. Now, my arm that had the knuckle grip here is gonna shoot through, and it's gonna grab my collar. So now his arm is in this loop here, right? I'm gonna keep this wrist, my elbow up, so his wrist is nice and trapped, right? And my elbow is just putting pressure towards my chest, and I'm gonna adjust up as I finish. Now, the hand, the collar, is gonna lean here, allow me to come this way, and now I'm gonna bring my leg over and pinch. As I'm pinching, I'm gonna drive my hips up and elevate here. And I'm armbarring him, and I'm pinning him pretty heavily at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't want him, he can go back the other way. Because I have this here, and I'm just gonna drive this pressure. If he goes this way, I just continue, and then fall into like a belly down armbar. So, it's a pretty bad spot to be in the bottom. Mm-hmm. And also,
yes,
everybody drills like hitchhiker armbar escapes all the time. Now, if you do this, you force them to do a hitchhiker escape upside down, which nobody drills.
Yeah, you gotta like reverse and rewind everything, and no one knows how to do that. And
well, especially where the elbow is bending in the wrong way.
Yeah, later real quick, I want to talk about that armbar finish a little bit too. So this finish is something, I think we both had like converging thoughts on it about teaching white belts when they're going for arm bars to not have this idea that you're gonna like fall backwards,
yeah,
and then all that distance opens up. But then it can be a little harder to understand the finishing mechanic of this armbar because you don't get to lay back and bridge. So let's say we are getting to this ending, and here's the cool thing about it. Let's say go palm to palm. So people defend their armbar here, and you feel like if I do try to do a traditional fall back and pull on it, I have to get his arm from here to me to all the way back over there once I fall. And so a funny thing about this finish, yeah, let's say he's doing this. Sometimes you can just scoop right here. Yeah, and I won't be able to unbend your arm by pulling on it, but I can straighten your arm by rolling forward into it, because my hip will drive in against the back of the elbow. So people will feel safe in here. And you can just hook the end of the wrist and then start going forwards on it. And it changes it from needing to go, and I'll get it all the way out there, to just driving it forwards a little bit.
So you only have to get like the wrist, from here you need to get the wrist from, let's say this is 0 on the angle to 180. Mm-hmm. Here you need to get the wrist maybe 60. Mm-hmm. Or 45 degrees,
and you'll be doing
and then
it
the
by
rest,
pushing.
yeah, the rest comes from you pushing in the elbow.
Right, because people will also think like white belt things, like grab the arm and then fall back, and then they're trying to, like this grip here will get you where the arm gets yanked out. You want something where you can connect your body to it, and then when they try to yank out, they're just going to hit you in the belly, and you put your belly even more into their elbow, and you never even have to fall back. You can just go here, and then you rock your hip in to finish, instead of falling back and having to try to bridge. Try that way. I think even if you want to still do the finish where you sit back, if you treat it like you're not going to sit back, it'll make it really tight, and then you can choose to stay there or fall back and do it. Try it out.